Yeah, I'm not happy we're back in the sewer. I thought we were done. I thought we had served our time.
Unfortunately, apparently
somewhere
at some point hiking through these tunnels, we got some sort of goop in our recording device.
Well, I was stimming.
Oh.
And I got the goop on my hands.
And you touched the equipment.
And the equipment got gooped.
So we lost our first recording. So here we are for Nosferatu Part 1. 2.
1.5.
3, 4, 5.
Everybody, welcome to Blank Potties, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and as always, I'm joined by...
I'm John.
Was that a Nosferatu voice?
That was me scooting up in these, what I would call chairs right now.
I mean, we are sitting on them. Hi, I am Sarah. Hello. So yes,
I think if you stack bricks,
enough.
Anything can be a chair.
Anything can be a chair if you believe in yourself hard enough.
If you stack bricks, you can make anything a chair. Is that what you just said?
Yeah. Because if you take the bricks and you just stack them on top of it, then you got a chair.
What is it, though?
Whatever it is. A man.
True that. I usually charge for that. But anyways, so this is the last of our Twitter blood sports polls, because I don't think we're going to have Twitter anymore.
Yeah, Twitter's going downhill very fast. Now that they're rate limiting people, they took our polls away a while ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to be moving all that to Patreon. If we end up finding a social media platform that's good again, which part of me hopes doesn't happen, we might do some public ones again. But for now, that has become a Patreon exclusive by force.
And not ours.
Incompetency of some of the highest order. Like, just fuck. Anyways, yeah, so the last public poll was for us to deep dive Clan Nosferatu, and part of that deep dive is us in a sewer for the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wait, you guys came here voluntarily?
At the first time? Yes. Now we're just kind of stuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I got here.
That's you in most places. But
I'm sad I wore my Adidas. I have boots. I could have you hiking around in a sewer.
You could have had waterproof boots.
If they had told me, I would have been wearing boots. But I'm here in some Adidas.
Sucks to suck. So, part of our clan deep dives involve us covering the clan in 2 parts. This first part will be covering the clan's general vibe, specific quirks, bloodlines and subculture, disciplines, banes, compulsions, and all of that. Second episode will be a history deep dive of the clan and more specific info relating to V5.
Yeah. So this is the vibes, and then next time is the facts.
Yes. So vibes, then facts. And are we doing the Patreon clan poll for this episode? Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and put it, I'm going to announce it with the bonus episode because of the issues we'd had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and just put it when we can line everything up, our release, with the Patreon so they can hear it, and then they can go vote.
All right, cool. So those of you who are kind enough to give us money for being dumb fucks, keep an ear out.
Yeah. Our next one is going to be spicy. It is Bruja versus Toreador.
Oh.
Those are the two, because we're doing the main V5 core book clans first, and then we're going to go back and do the others because they get complicated.
Yeah, some of them get lots of extra work has to be involved.
And we might have to even shift the format for some of them because there is either so little information or far too much information.
Yup.
There are 2 specific ones I have in mind, and I'm guessing some of you can guess which are which.
We've discussed this in our behind-the-scenes meetings, and oh boy. All right, so content warning, we will be covering issues involving body horror and filth, as well as themes involved with ableism, eugenic-style executions, harm to children, and some violence.
Imagine.
In this economy?
I'm into like 2 or 3 of those.
I'm going to have to ask you which ones.
I can do without eugenics or ableism, but body horror is pretty cool. Filth can be cool.
Yeah. What about the children?
Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's tragedy.
Yeah.
It depends how hurt.
That's true. Like the
if
Instagram
it's like something
kids getting hurt, where it's like there's running and someone throws an exercise ball and it hits them and they fall down.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny, but if
kid
kids
fall down, go boom, very funny. Kid fall down, go explode, not funny.
Yeah.
Kid run and then somebody throw like a lawn dart.
Yeah, not so funny.
Not so funny.
Yeah, that stopped being funny in like the 80s, late.
That's why you can't buy lawn darts.
Yeah, I know.
We got some.
We do have those. We don't have them in the sewer, but we do have them.
I have a non-named relative who's like, they're making them illegal and bought a couple sets, so we just have a bunch in the garage.
Nice.
But then he like also was like, these are really dangerous. We probably shouldn't play with these.
Huh.
So now they just sit in the garage.
We need to get those. I'm just saying.
They're also rusty now because they've been around for so long.
Oh, they're extra spicy.
Yeah, they're
seasoned.
More useful for this specific scenario we're in.
Speaking of useful, the sources for this episode are the V5 Core Book, the V5 Player's Guide, Vampire the Masquerade Core Book 1st Edition and 2nd Edition, Clan Book Nosferatu, Nosferatu Clan Book Revised, Veil of Night, Libel Sanguius 4, Thieves in the Night, Beckett's Jihad Diary, Lore of the Clan, Chicago by Night, and the Winter's Teeth comics.
I need to finish those. Those are really good.
They're really good.
I read the first collection, but I have not kept up since then.
Yeah, no, super good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I need to read them at all.
We'll have to eventually do a Winter's Teeth series.
Yes.
Did you guys just see that guy? Legit, he just walked past and was just picking up little sticks.
Oh yeah, he does that every day. They have bonfires in their backyard, so he picks up other people's yards for free.
He picks up sticks in the sewers?
Yes.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, speaking of things that happen, what the fuck is this clan?
We wait. We put up walls, take stock, and adapt to the new realities. And that's why we're a clan of survivors, because we've learned to like it underground, in sewers, catacombs, and deserted subway stations. But you know what? That gives us perspectives that every one of those other deluded bastards lack.
A kind of abstract thing of evil. He has no nobility, nor does he inhabit the dark world of majestic, satanic villains. Instead, he is a lower kind of evil, an obscene and loathsome creature that dwells amid decay and slime and crawling rats. A quotation from Malcolm South's Mythical and Fabulous Creatures.
Thanks, Brent and Ash, for the readings.
So,
yeah, it was cool. Good job.
Yes. So, info on the clans. So, what are the Nosferatu known for? They're mostly known for being intel brokers.
And being ugly as fuck.
Yeah, that is on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are.
My script got wet, so
that does happen. Why are you dipping your script in the?
Look, I'm wearing my Adidas. I didn't want to get them dirty.
Anyways, so yes, this clan's known for mostly doing intel brokering and sharing secrets and that kind of thing. They're also known for being spy masters. They're also known for being cynical sewer dwellers.
I wonder what that's like.
I have no idea.
We're never getting out of this.
We might.
Oh, I was playing into the clan there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they can't technically get out because they can't change their faces.
Nope.
Many Nosferatu are known for being architects and being involved in a lot of building city infrastructures.
There's also a lot of hackers and fishers. It's PH, not fishing like Jesus, the fisher of men.
They are not fishers of men. Was that like freaky fishing?
They kind of are fishers of men.
I wonder if
flirty
fishing.
Yeah,
could ever do flirty fishing.
I mean, they could try. Somebody's got to be into it.
They can
That's
catfish.
Look, considering the amount of like fucking monster fuckers I've seen on AO3.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I did just say hackers, so I'm sure they can catfish people.
For sure. Just how many times they're just like, yeah, I'm totally a hot mom in your area. Meet me at this location, and then
Snack.
You got to be careful clicking those
So
ads.
I'm not going to be going on any dates with anybody we meet in the sewer then.
I mean, if you want to.
I don't want to get snacked on. Let's go.
Yeah. The clan Nosferatu are known for being ugly on the outside and often more beautiful on the inside, or being better people. Though sometimes Nosferatu are just fucked up on the outside as well as on the inside because, world of darkness.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just bastard men from Bastard Island, and that be how it is.
Yep.
They're all British.
No, how dare you? Who would do that to people? Why?
A clan of Brits, the truly most cursed of the vampires.
The most cursed? No.
They already can't go out in the sun, so
I'm feeling extraordinarily called out. Fuck. There are many in the Nosferatu that are known to be defenders of the forgotten. Like, there's kind of a thread through of the Nosferatu where they're just like, well, life's shit for me. Doesn't mean it has to be shit for everybody. I'm going to try and care about some little pet project or group of people. And then they're just kind of like, what if I was like Daredevil, but my face is on wrong?
But my face is on wrong.
Yeah. You ever just see somebody and you're just like, their face isn't quite correct?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It happens sometimes.
It does.
Sometimes I fuck up my contour. It's just sometimes my face is not on correct. But yes, these are the sewer rats, the carnies, the lepers, the hives, orlocks, creeps, crawlers, Nazis, the clan of the hidden.
I think my favorite is the Orlocks.
It's super fun.
That's a cool one.
I wonder if when freak shows were a thing, if Nosferatu ever traveled with freak shows as like one of the exhibits.
I wouldn't see why not, because I guess technically then it might not be a masquerade breach.
Right. Interesting.
Because you're just like, well, I'm next to the Fiji mermaid.
Right.
And the bearded woman.
The bearded woman and this cow with two heads.
Which is just a man in a dress with a beard.
Sometimes. Sometimes it was just like a lady with a hormone imbalance.
Yeah. Carnivals were fun in a bad way.
In a bad way. I will say the movie Freaks.
Good
I fucking
movie.
love it. Great movie. Good time.
Also the movie Freaked.
The movie Freaked.
Freaked is the one that's the two guys from Bill and Ted. They did a non-Bill and Ted movie, but Keanu Reeves couldn't be in it anymore. He's too big of an actor, and he couldn't be in it contractually. So they just made him be a cowman, and he wore like a full prosthetic the entire film.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
bizarre.
The whole movie is insane. I don't know if a lot of people could get through it, but
I mean, I'd be willing to try, but Jesus Christ.
it's fun. It's strange.
You put it on the next movie night poll.
Ooh, there
Cool.
you go.
So, speaking of strange, things that are in clan behaviors or socializing aspects for the clan Nosferatu is the big one. The biggest one, I think, is they fucking love secrets.
Hey, anybody listening, if you help us out of here, I'll tell you a secret.
That might actually work. It better be a good secret, though.
I have a few good ones.
Okay, got some juicy hot goss.
I have some hot goss.
Hell yeah. So, intelligence exchanges are a major form of socializing both in and out of the clan. Many Nosferatu are standoffish for reasons that I feel like are somewhat understandable. But they can be made a valuable ally if, if the tea is hot enough, they just be like, okay, yeah, I think you're an asshole, but I need this info, so we can work together. So that's something that might be helpful for player characters that are just like, oh shit, I need to befriend an NPC. I don't know how to do it. I'm just like, if you have dirt on somebody else in the game, fuck it, just go. Just tell them.
Yeah,
You'll make friends.
it's true.
It is a good time. Internally, the Nosferatu, their sires are known to spend time teaching their childer puzzles, ciphers, and other techniques to surreptitiously share and gather information.
I really like the idea of you've just finished mutating. It's been like a week of racking pain. They give you some food, they sit you down, and they hand you like a 15 square Rubik's Cube.
Oh, god damn it.
And they're like, all right, you're going to finish this, and then we'll go out and we can get food.
Fuck. That's rude.
Right?
Those Rubik's Cubes are bananas.
I know.
That is awful.
I like that.
But yeah, for centuries, this clan have been master spies and advisors. In more recent nights, their physical strength, along with covert communication networks, have made them invaluable as sheriffs, hounds, and scourges within the Camarilla. Those same skills also make them very valuable within anarch circles to be able to, like, hey, so we're coordinating against the Camarilla, so we need to be able to get this information and do spying things. We also need people that can punch good. So having Nosferatu on the anarch side is helpful, though most of them tend to be in the Camarilla. So
Yeah.
things that are just like, well,
I think we talk about it a little more in episode 2, but they also are one of the clans that's just like the least. Yeah, I'm part of the Camarilla, but I'm going to help my brother Nosferatu out. Maybe even if it goes against what's best for the Camarilla. We're family first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Respect and honesty are held in high regard. Your skill and standing as an information broker is only as good as your word is. So lying and hypocrisy, particularly within the clan, is seen as a major taboo. It's like, yeah. If you want to lie and scheme against the other like clans, like that's fine. Fuck them. they ain't us. But being a scheming, backstabbing asshole to your fellow Nosferatu is a big, like, don't do that. Don't. We're family.
We're family.
And
I do like their, like, cousin-ness all the time. Like, it's
like,
great.
we're all homies.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, so do you ever just want to do a game of Oops, Oh Nosferatu, except it's just Fast and Furious? You could just do that.
I know you were part of the cam and I'm part of the Sabat, but together we're family.
Right. Oh, God, just Nosferatu all driving across the city. They're all using obfuscate, so it looks like no one's driving the cars.
Yes.
Or they just have them tinted out.
That's true. You could also do that.
High tint package, late at night. You can't see into that car.
Can't see shit.
Or mirrored.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, too.
So, speaking of interclan interactions, clan elders are more revered as sages and wise folk as opposed to elders in other clans where they're like very authoritarian and almost tyrannical. Where it's like, I'm the oldest, so therefore I'm in charge. In the Nosferatu, they tend to be like, well, being us in particular is such a hard mode of life that if you've made it that old, clearly you know some things, and we respect that. So seems it goes more into the semi-familial like community aspects of just like, oh, look it's Grandma Moss. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, she's been around since like 1850, so
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, the older you are, the more you remember, which means the more information that computers might not have, you have.
Yeah.
More full of secrets.
Secrets are so fun.
That's why we don't tell anyone.
Yes.
Yes. When visiting each other in different cities, the host Nosferatu will go out of their way to impress with the finest hospitality they can afford. So if you have Nosferatu that has bank, go all out with being a good host.
You walk in and they have like silver goblets for everyone set down on like a silk tablecloth.
The Tiffany chandelier is out.
Yeah. You're in like an abandoned Radio Shack, but everything in it's just opulent. That's kind of cool.
That's super fun. Or, you have a really poor Nosferatu that's like trying to like show some bouge and it's not quite working. And he's just like, look, man, I busted out the name brand Dixie cups. Like, I'm trying.
I went and found a new futon mattress out of this dumpster on 4th.
Man, these college kids just throwing things away.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know. Nosferatu also tend to recognize each other within the clan for doing works that boost the clan and the community as a whole, as opposed to grandiose self-enrichment. So, in comparison to like the Venture, where the Venture will get esteem for having, great conquest, like big business ventures, but it's very much a like, me, I did this, I'm general, blah blah blah. The Nosferatu people are like, hey bud, you were able to like finagle things. We're able to build this whole new sewer line, so we got more room in the Warrens. Like, good job. Like, he's looking out. Something that I find to be rather endearing.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, oh look, he's trying. He's just being a good. Just Nosferatu, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Would be super super adorable. And also continuing on with like the familial kind of bent, the Nosferatu have a very insular and protective society. So they tend to stick to their own. They're very well known for having these underground communities known as broods, living in spaces called warrens. These broods usually run with the eldest leading, set up to offer aid and guidance to each other regardless of sect loyalties, so they're much more likely to literally help a brother out or help a cousin out, even if it's like, look, I know I'm in the cam, I've got a position, I'm like the clan whip or whatever, and I know you're in the spot, but like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I gotta help. I can't just not help him.
Right.
He's part of the family.
And I mean, like, let's be real. If you're like, all right, we'll help you out. We're going to move you through the Warrens to get you through the city because you need to get to Milwaukee. Who's going to fucking look? Who's going to fucking look?
Who's going to look? And also, like, that's just time for you to have a conversation and learn more about what the Sabat are up to.
Yeah.
What the Camarilla about. So what have you been doing lately?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
What do they have? What kind of work do they have you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I know you're working on this project. And that dickweed's trying to like weasel you out of it. What if I just broke a bunch of his things? Okay, bye.
I don't think you should do that I totally shouldn't do that.
I totally shouldn't. It's like, no, really.
Animated wink.
He's like, no, like, seriously, don't do that.
Please
Don't do that.
Obfuscate away. Like,
Just like,
God damn it, man.
Fuck. I know Jerry thinks he's helping, and
Yeah.
God bless him, but fucking, I really don't need him to, because if he blows up her house, she's gonna be so pissed. Fuck. And then I have to take care of it. It's just a whole thing. There you go, guys. Plot hook. We're giving them to you for free. Boom.
Free. Jerry the arsonist. All yours.
Jerry the arsonist.
He really earned that nickname.
He really did. I mean, after Chicago.
I can't think of a more infuriating character to bring to a table for an ST. Just an arsonist. He's like, all right, you guys are all done. All right, I'm going to start a fire as we're leaving. But just like every time, I know we did that in one of our last games, in our Chicago game.
Yeah.
But
you guys did it the one time?
we also, what we burnt down was a Diablerie club. And we did it by plugging in all their Christmas ornaments into one circuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in the closet.
Yeah, you guys overloaded the circuit and caused a fire, which I was like, that's fine.
An electrical fire.
Yeah.
It was an electrical fire.
And it's like, I set it up to be like, yeah, this is a club full of bad people.
So they deserved it.
I'm not going to give you stains for this, because I don't think this technically goes against anyone's convictions, but, it's going to cause more of a mess, and that's something y'all are going to have to deal with, so cool.
They asked us if we could to make an example and disrupt the party. So
fire will disrupt a party. You're not wrong.
we'll also make an example.
We rescued a couple of Thin Bloods that they were diablerizing.
Yep.
And I got a bunch of tea from people. And then we set the building on fire and left in stolen cars.
We also let a bunch of humans out to try to fight their way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a bummer for them, because I'm sure they're very dead. But
I have some notes about that. But at least you guys worked on a unified front. Much like the Nosferatu, they are one of the most unified clans out of everybody in Vampire the Masquerade.
Transitions are fun.
I am trying.
Well, they also, I feel like, are one of the clans that has to work the hardest together. It's them and the Malkavians who just, like, almost on sight, they're like,
yeah,
you're a little off.
Yeah, there's not a lot of just general, just innate social network, I guess, or social rules to incentivize people to naturally, like, want to help those two groups. Because, the Malkavians, little, one too many hits with the snake. And then the Nosferatu, everybody just shows up and goes, oh, fuck.
yeah.
I'm more upset that you just pop out of nowhere, really, than that the fact that your face is fucked up. The fact that your face is fucked up doesn't help.
What is that with this clan, by the way?
What?
They just love to do that.
They're the jump scare clan.
Yeah. It's like Malkavian's pranks, except that they just have one prank that all of them love to pull.
I'm honestly surprised that no one on itch has made, like, one of those survival horror wander through an environment games and the monster pops out randomly and you gotta run, but it's just a Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might just be, one, they can do it.
Yeah.
So,
If anyone wants to make that game,
Do
I've
it.
done some stuff on itch before. I'll give you some soundtrack.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know
But
Unity.
I think at least, I was going to say, I think at least for Nosferatu seeming to just, so many Nosferatu players have had just do that shit. I think it might also just be an in-character, like, reclamation of power, I guess, where they're like, look, I know I'm not pretty, I know I'm not allowed in places, I know I'm just a walking masquerade breach, but I can fuck with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
fair.
It's like, you're not above me going up and going, boop.
I would, to the point where with obfuscate and stuff, I know it's not the fairest, but I would almost like challenge them on it the least, just because they're forced to do it so constantly that it's just like, oh, that's cute. One of the other clans has obfuscate. The Nosferatu like lives in obfuscate pretty much.
They were kind of born in it, but
Yeah.
we talk about that in the history episode. So, ba-ba-da-ba-da.
Bum, bum.
As we have mentioned, this is a clan that's also tends to, in culture, refer to each other as family, regardless if they actually are related or not. That's a more Hakata thing, but we'll talk about that later.
Everyone's related in the Hakata. And they love to fuck each other.
Oh, the Giovanni. Anywho. So, I enjoy that there seems to be a player-to-player cultural note of referring to each other more often as cousins than
Yeah.
all the other clans, and I'm just like, that's kind of wholesome. I enjoy that. It is also very common for the younger Nosferatu to be housed and educated within the Warrens. And they have this training called Aranta Shadur, which I fucking love. It's basically a training scavenger hunt. So the elders within the Warren will make a list of items for the younger ones to collect, and they'll adjust the list depending on like age and skill set. So they're like, hey, we're not going to make the fledgling go and try to steal like the prince's pocket watch because that's fucked up. You're not a fledgling, though. Go get his pocket watch.
I feel like that would be such a fun, like, intro adventure for a bunch of players. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, you're all Nosferatu. Here's what you got to do.
Here's a list of items you need to get, and you need to collect these items without anybody noticing you took them. Figure it out. You can use obfuscate, you can use sleight of hand, however you're doing this.
Right.
Make a familius that's a rat that will go and like run in and steal things and come back. You got options. Bringing back my favorite storytelling plot device of this dickweed of a hawk that just like swoops in and steals your shit. Just bled by a hawk. Just like, well, I got his toupee.
But does that count as them noticing, though?
Well, they don't know you did it. They just know a hawk did it.
Yeah, it just
so
can't
you could
be tied
argue
back
that.
to you.
Yeah,
it can be missing, but they can't know it's you.
Yeah. So everybody does this like wacky shenanigan scavenger hunt night, and then they all come back, and whoever has the most collected items without having been spotted wins.
I think you would also get bonus points for having impressive items, like
yeah,
the prince's pocket watch compared to the old man next door's toupee.
Yeah. If it's just some toupee, I'm like, you could just bottle weave. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody gotta know. But yeah, and you know, sometimes being able to like show off with like, oh yeah, I did this thing where I was like doing wall scaling and had a rappel rope and like if you can make it more adventurous for cool points, do it. Then at the end of this, you're expected to return the items with also not being noticed because, you know, Nosferatu's like, we're not thieves.
We're above that.
We're above that. Look, just because we can take your stuff doesn't mean we are going to take your stuff.
But we can.
But we can. We need everyone to know you're always at threat.
Yep.
Which is why they do the jump scares.
Makes sense.
Just like, remember, we're always here.
It's so great. Like, I don't think that I have ever played a game where I was anywhere that wasn't like just a super public, like filled with like a club. Mm-hmm. That I was anywhere talking, having a meeting with a vampire that in the back of my head, as a character and a player, that I'm like, they've got a Nosferatu here somewhere.
There's somebody
here watching or listening.
Yeah, that's a fun way. If you as a storyteller want to crank the paranoia, just make it more or less subtle that there's just Nosferatu just hanging around
places,
doing things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Or you could always have a Nosferatu approach one of the players and be like, hey, thing that no one but you is supposed to know. If you tell me more about that, I'll owe you a boon.
Ooh.
Like, they're like, I know you have information. You weren't supposed to tell anyone that information, but I know you have that information. Tell me more.
Yeah.
That's a devil's deal right there.
I like that.
I could just think of like a little gumshoe Nosferatu that walks up. It's just, hey, so I've been working on this case. I know you know these things. I need you to go in and ask about this.
I like it.
There's tons of ways. You can use the Nosferatu to just be like, look, if your players are not going to buy the plot hook them.
Quite literally.
Sometimes you have to bow fish.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to bow fish, unfortunately.
I also think I know a lot of the historical settings for this game are like the Dark Ages or like cowboy times or like the Renaissance.
Like Victorian era.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do like a 50s, 60s like detective noir kind of story.
Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of Vampire the Masquerade games set in World War II. It just happens when you have friends that are just history nuts, and they're like, "Wait, we can reenact this battle, but we all have vampire powers.
Oh
like, why would we not?" I'm like, you know what? You're right. Why would we not? Let's do this. It's fun. Though sometimes you do get players that will get into fights with each other. It's like, no, they would not have had that kind of armament because that wasn't produced until 1947. And you're just like, God, fucking damn.
That happens so much in games. We've been playing a Deadlands game in the server. Hey, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a plan. And then we had to look it up, and we realized that my character invented razor wire 5 years before it actually existed.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops.
And it happens.
He rolled ridiculously though, so
Yeah, I had mad science, and I rolled over a 30.
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Yeah. So, within the Nosferatu, there are those that, whilst they might have a fucked up face, are surprisingly genteel, have a lot of skills with etiquette, or just really charming. I love me a charming Nosferatu. Super fun. Super fun. But those who have those kind of skills tend to be the Nosferatu that will be sent up to handle more PR. Like, we'll send you to court to go charm people and, like, put on a little suit.
Yeah.
Put on the Chanel. And, you know, go do the business, like the official business we need to get handled, and
Right.
we'll be doing the real work down here. You just go.
So the guy whose like mouth is diagonal from his eye to his like neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a Nosferatu that just looks so much like an anglerfish.
Yeah.
I love anglerfish Nosferatu. We're just like big chompy mouths.
okay.
It's super fun. Within the Nosferatu, they don't have as much of a formalized punishment system like some of the other clans will, where they have a very strict like hierarchy and code of etiquette and what they're expected to do. Basically, as long as you like somewhat maintain the traditions enough to like not cause a problem, and you aren't a fucking outright asshole, you're allowed in the space. Though if you do fuck around too much, you will find out by being kicked out of the Warrens.
Oof.
Which is bad, because then you just lose all of that support network and resources, and you're good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with your fucked up face.
It'd be kind of cool to play a character who's been kicked out of the Warrens, who's like working on earning their way back in.
Oh, what if somebody started a rumor and he's like, I didn't do the thing, and I have to like reclaim my honor.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, no, let me back in. I'm fine.
That'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
That could be cool.
Sleeping in like a shed somewhere.
It's just like, oh fuck, I gotta go make friends.
Yep.
Shit. Damn it.
That's why he joins the coterie. He's like, I need a community to help me. Oh God.
I can't sign a lease. Look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
How am I supposed to take a tour for an apartment? Look at this. just arms are just way too long.
Right. He's like 6'9", but his arms drag on the ground by like 8 inches.
No, he's so long. Yeah. Though a kind of interesting thing that Nosferatu will do around their warrens is this thing called spawning pools, where they just infect a body of water nearby with their vitae, so they're just continually blood bonding animals in the area.
That's fucking
So
wild.
they'll have just wild packs of dogs and raccoons and deer just around the warrens that are very territorial.
Yeah.
Smells like one of those right here.
What do you
Like
mean?
a wet deer.
It smells wet and bloody.
Yeah.
Why do you know what a wet deer smells like?
Why don't you?
I don't go in the woods like that.
Oh well. You should experience the smell of a wet deer.
Look, when I've been out in the woods, I have not stumbled upon a deer that was damp and felt the
Technically,
need to put my nose by it.
If I'm being honest,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably not the completely accurate smell of a wet deer, because it was a dead wet deer.
Yeah, because then that has the smell of death with it.
Well, it was very recently dead.
I mean,
Like that day.
anywho.
But it was wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Speaking
wet deer,
of
though.
things being wet and bloody, we should probably like get
Leave?
moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I do love the idea of the spawning pool, though.
Mhm.
Just like, I imagine just the local gangrel just getting like pissy about it. They're just like, why are all these fucked up deer around here? Oh.
Yeah, because the longer they're ghouls, and they're not going to die of age.
Mhm.
Oh my god. You have a squirrel that's been drinking out of the spawning pool for like 56 years? You have a 56-year-old squirrel?
He knows where all the acorns are buried.
Every single acorn is buried. He is so good at throwing walnuts at people, he just doesn't miss.
Oh my God. That's horrifying.
Right? And he's ugly
He's got
as
like
shit, too.
a little gang of other
Yes.
squirrels that he bullies into doing things for him. And this Nosferatu's like, God damn it! I've been telling Ezekiel he needs to fucking calm down.
You're starting to piss off the gangrel. There's going to be a territory war soon.
Oh
He's
yeah.
got a bunch of weird, like, almost naked mole rat looking squirrels, because they're all so old and ghouled to Nosferatu, having territorial battles with a bunch of gophers that Gangrel has
They're just
blood bonded.
a blood bonding animal arms race. You can't fight in here. It's the war room. This is a gazebo in the park. What are you talking about? Anyway,
It's just those two clans. That's where they meet people.
the park gazebo.
No one comes here at night. There's no cameras.
Oh. Well, speaking of meetings, when the Nosferatu have a large meeting, it is called a hosting.
Oh.
The Nosferatu who calls for this meeting is expected to name the time, location, and to provide reasonable to very nice accommodations. I am assuming this is dependent on the people that he's calling towards the meeting and the Nosferatu's budget.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's probably a lot like income based.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't afford the fine china, but you get those super fancy Dixie cups with the print on the outside of them,
Mm-hmm.
that's saying something.
It is.
It's saying something.
He's trying.
Yeah.
I just...
Give him some points for gumption.
Or a super, like, connected Nosferatu. Be like, I got a hold of one of my Zemitzi friends. He made us a blood ghoul. So, go fill up your Dixie cup out of him.
Oh my god.
Just got like
It's just
a blood udder.
Oh god, have you seen those the condiment udder
Yeah.
with like the big tub of
Yes.
ketchup and then like
Uh-huh.
but it's just a guy. It's like you're pulling on it. He's like, that's not the blood udder.
Oh no!
You can keep tugging. That was awful. I'm sorry.
I think only you could get away with that.
That's because mine are store bought.
Yeah.
I thought this sewer was nasty.
Oh,
Because I've been picturing this guy essentially as just a sack hanging from the ceiling.
I was imagining a guy with just a protrusion. And then, somebody's like not like they're talking and not paying attention. Because I've done that at parties where you're chit chatting and you're like trying to grab like a little snack and you reach into the wrong bowl and you're just like, I just fisted the dip.
That's the guacamole shit.
And you're just like, well, I guess that's my guacamole now. Whoops.
Just drop it on your plate.
It wasn't an accident.
I like it.
I wanted the guac. It's my fucking guac,
This
and
is
I'll
where-
claim it.
This is where we get in trouble.
If I knew
Anywho,
it was going to be that kind of party, I would have stuck my dick in the mashed potatoes.
it could be that kind of party depending on the hosting event.
Yeah.
Those Nosferatu who show up to a hosting tend to behave rather respectfully, even genteel and sociable. This is like a big like, okay guys, we're getting together, like put on your nice clothes.
I love it.
We're showing off. We're going to talk chit chat about how the girls are fighting. And yeah, so this is a big like social event where you're expected to be on your best behavior. So it's just like doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah, a lot of that kind of thing. A lot of
Business.
minding the P's and Q's. Business.
Business.
These meetings, if they are held within the Warrens, they're often held in what is called the Chamber of Horrors.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's just a centralized hub within the Warrens that the Nosferatu is like, this is our special meeting place that nobody else is allowed to. Sometimes the Chamber of Horrors is really nice. Sometimes they lean into just being fucked up and they'll just be like, oh, everything is skulls.
They go like
Sometimes
the
both.
French catacombs with it.
Sometimes I go a little catacomby with it.
Yeah. I also like the idea of it being the Chamber of Horrors, and it's like this big area that they've cleared out in the sewers, and they have like really pretty string lights everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They've almost made it look like fairyland in there. It's the Chamber of Horrors. Wow, I feel so peaceful.
So it
here.
looks like an overpriced restaurant downtown.
Yeah.
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 Or,
A lot of like wood grain and like twinkle lights.
Exactly.
I also,
Everywhere.
oh god, I also love the idea of just like, go to the Chamber of Horrors. It's all the echoes. You open the door, and it's just like a 70s style, like, conversation pit.
Yeah.
With, like, a bunch of pillows?
Lots of pillows.
Hell yeah.
The pillows are all love sacks, so you can like head first dive into the conversation pit and you're fine.
I wasn't thinking that initially when you said love sack. I was just like, what do you mean?
Oh, we got the Zemitzi friend to CC.
Ah, okay. That's... Does the love sack consent? Anyways, meetings that are held with outsiders of the clan, but within the Warrens, happen in what is known as the antechamber, which is just a series of disorienting rooms and halls meant to test the guest, with particular glee taken in tormenting the Toreador for hours.
So rude.
Right. I like the idea of there's being like a couple of different halls, and they're like, if it's somebody that we're like kind of okay with, it's like, yeah, you get some like a Zelda style like puzzle dungeon. But if you solve that, like, it's fine. You can go sit in the normal meeting room that just has like a table with like a water fountain with like little Dixie cups.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the Toreador hallway.
Toreador inventor. It's just like, all right, go through the fecal pool. Oh no, another fecal pool.
Oh no,
A
again.
third fecal pool.
This one's all dirt.
How are there so many dead hookers? Just that I have to have this section of the antechamber run by the most Norm Macdonald-esque Nosferatu.
Yes.
He's like, I can't believe that's happened to you. What a jerk.
I like to imagine like a Malkavian.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, just go through that. Wait, where'd he go? He's just in the Chamber of Horrors already. Like,
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be in here.
it's like,
He's like-
I knew that this is where we're meeting, though, right? I knew the way.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, you were supposed to go through. No, I could swing
No,
through
it was
there.
just that door and then that door and then that door. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Just...
The Nosferatu, or not the...
I went through the ones that were singing.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck, who told him about the singing pipes? Just the Toreador hallway, or antechamber hall, isn't like... it's like, oh no, they have to crawl through the wet and then cramped and then spiky and all sorts of things. It's just a hall that's designed to look like an aisle at Walmart.
Yeah.
And they have to traverse it. Little do they know at the end, there's a big puddle of some sort of fluid that they have to traverse.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, it's just a Walmart
Just a
aisle.
Walmart aisle.
Just to really upset the Toreador.
They just raised a closed down Kmart and took the shelves.
Yes.
God, it's like 3 football fields length of just Walmart aisle. Sections of it are empty.
You thought the infinite IKEA was terrifying. Wait until you
One
see the Nosferatu Walmart.
It's just one straight Walmart aisle for 300 yards.
Gross. Yeah.
It's a very slight curve, so it looks like it doesn't end.
They're like, oh, if I just celerity run really quick,
Yeah.
and then they just bam, because the curve ran into a wall. See, we tricked them. Normally, we trick people by think that they're going into a wacky MC Escher style labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
We did the labyrinth backwards, so you think you're walking into a straight thing, and then you just Wile E. Coyote celerity into a wall.
Yeah.
You got that recording, right? Okay, cool.
Good.
Good. We're going to turn that into a GIF. Speaking of building things, the Nosferatu, big into city building and infrastructure, because, you know, when you live in the sewers, you want to make sure everything's set up the way you want.
Mm-hmm.
Many Nosferatu get into city designing, so not only just infrastructure, there's also interest in aesthetic architecture, catacombs, public art. Some get into it way too lost in the sauce, and they do build those like MC Escher labyrinths that will potentially magically maybe connect multiple cities at once, or you just go to another plane of reality, or you're tapping into ley lines. There's tons of plot hole options. You can just go cuckoo bananas with it. If you want to put David Bowie down there, you can. I'm not going to tell you not to.
I love the idea of a coterie needing to get to a city that's really far away in like an unreasonably short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get a lead about a Nosferatu that might be able to help them. And the Nosferatu takes them down into a labyrinth and like... Because Nosferatu can learn to like navigate it properly. Out of clan, it's very difficult. But one's figured it out who's just like takes them on a thing. They walk for like, you know, most of the night. They take a nap. They wake up the next night. And then they
open a door.
Open a door and it's like, all right, here you go. This is the public library in New York. It's like, what the fuck?
We were in Chicago yesterday and we walked.
Yeah.
Just like, what the... Like, yeah, don't ask questions. Slams the door
Close
shut.
the door. You open it and it's a utility closet.
You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, if you get tired of playing in one city, we gave you an in-lore smooth transition.
I love the idea of using like a Nosferatu, kind of like the boatman on River Styx.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. Where it's like, okay, we need to get somebody across the city covertly. Like, we can't have anyone see him. Nobody on the street. We can't have a ring camera. Nothing. You pay off a Nosferatu. You go down into a sewer, and he's, like, got a gondola. And he's got the little striped shirt and the little hat. Doesn't bother with an Italian accent, though.
See, I was thinking more of like a cloak and a scythe.
Cloak and scythe would be cool, but you take the gondola Nosferatu to the River Styx guy.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I'm not the real boatman. I'm kind of here to, like, you know, make sure you guys are legit. You are. I'm dropping you off to my cousin Styx. Yes, it's spelled the way you think.
Like the band.
Yeah. Cousin doesn't say anything, just like hood. You never get any idea of what he actually looks like, which is more spooky because you're just like, how fucked up is his face?
Yes.
because normally the Nosferatu are, like, some of them are kind of shy, but, like, usually, like, you get an idea. And this guy's like, Nothing. You pay him his 2 copper and you just go.
Doesn't even actually have the hood. It's just like that weird cloth that like dangles over the face
like
down
a
to like
veil?
the chest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like those dirty veils. Like that one terrifying special forces unit that has those.
Oh,
They
yeah.
wear this green chainmail over their
Mm-hmm.
head, you know what I'm talking about? They're fucking scary looking.
I don't, but I want to know.
Yeah.
We can talk about that after the episode.
Hell yeah.
But they also don't just get into building underground sewer nightmares.
No.
Some of them actually get into like city building.
Yeah, city building. Some of them get into the arts. Nosferatu art tends to be more sculptural, where it's like things that they can show off, like, hey, so since I have, I'm strong as fuck, look at me bend this steel rebar into a cool thing. There's also into doing like acoustic chambers where they allow like the airflow within the underground warrens, blow like pan flute whistles and those kinds of things. You'll get like singing fountains, and they're also into gardening, both above and below ground. So you might think, oh yeah, clearly the Gangrel are in charge of the city park and they're doing all the maintenance, and then you just see a Nosferatu with like a big sun hat. I know it's night, but he's got a sun hat.
It's vibes.
Just a very mumsy apron and like gardening gloves, just like fucking people keep digging up my goddamn tulips.
Yes.
It is fairly common for Nosferatu to negotiate, particularly with the Ventura de la Sombra in the city, to maintain certain portions of a city as underdeveloped or more poverty-stricken, because those areas tend to make feeding for the clan more accessible, because there will be less oversight by the mortals.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, there's like, hey, I need you to keep this neighborhood poor so people in my clan can actually fucking eat. Because, you know, when we step outside, people go, oh, fuck, what is that? And start shooting.
Yeah.
So if I have a place where I can jump people and cops aren't going to show up, that would be sick.
Yeah, that sucks. I was vibing with them until I learned about their gentrification
They're
efforts.
anti-gentrification.
Yeah.
But, like, not in a good way. No. The Nosferatu, pretty much in every city, I can guarantee you there will be Nosferatu that have a network of bureaucracy ghouls that basically maintain the infrastructure of the city and are able to like push paperwork and legislation to be able to get them what they want. So if you're just like, hey, why in my city is the roadworks always taking so goddamn long? It could be because the Nosferatu are working on something, or they just really want to annoy the Toreador that owns the building on that block. Who the fuck knows?
I love the idea of it being like a ghoul that he has.
Mm-hmm.
They have like just misfiling the paperwork every single time the permit comes in.
And it's like, oh man, I know you want to open that club, but I don't have the paperwork. I filed it.
I filed it. You watched me file it. You were standing right there.
I see thousands of people every day.
Right. And then the Nosferatu approaches and like, man, I've been hearing your club's not been opening. Maybe I might be able to like help that out. I'm not sure if I have anybody at that branch, but I can work on it if you want to, trade me.
Grease the wheels.
Yeah, grease the wheels a little bit here. And then he just goes to his ghoul and he's like, all right, go ahead and file it.
You can put the paperwork through now.
Yeah.
Weird work.
That's fucking great.
Weird work related thing, because we've been doing our yearly training stuff. I didn't realize this, but internationally, we had to change our laws on corruption and bribery in the U.S. for internationally working companies, because in a lot of other countries, that's just like normal and legal. Like if you're opening an office in another country, to be like, here's an extra $500. Can you get our office set up this week instead of this year?
Yeah.
Like that that's just standard in a lot of other countries. Like, yeah, you pay us more, we'll do your work first.
Yep.
Whereas here in the
Wild.
US, that is insanely illegal.
We're just like, you literally cannot do that.
So we literally had to change the laws to make it okay for US countries or companies to do that in other countries.
Just so that we could function.
Yeah, because otherwise they're like, yeah, we opened an office. They said they'll get it wired in the next 2 years for electricity.
Yep.
So frustrating. Oh,
Yep.
It's funny though. There are, continuing on, there's a fair amount of Nosferatus who will get attached to mortals, whether this is a particular mortal that might be like a fellow outcast or somebody that they just have some sort of empathetic tie to, or just like whole communities.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you can, if you want to have a vigilante Nosferatu, it's within the wheelhouse. If you want to go full like Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of thing, you can do that. Not that
Or
that was
Benny.
or Benny. Yeah, Benny's super into fucking gravies.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he protects one diner specifically
Mm-hmm.
that's somewhere near his office.
And insert whatever city you want to use him for in our game. So, yeah, our podcast vampire. Yes, he has one diner that he will absolutely wreck everybody for. Will he burn the city down for it? Probably.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Benny approaches your coterie and was like, hey, I need you to do this, 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 and this. And all of it's just mildly heinous stuff to one kindred.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what the fuck? Why, Benny? He's like, don't ask questions. Just do it for me. Because I got this secret about this person you need to know.
And it'd
you
be a
finally-
shame if...
You finally do it and you just find out that person dined and dashed at Gravy's.
No! I love it,
He's
but no.
just like ruined them.
Just destroy them utterly. Like, burn his business, fuck his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't heard Gravy's, or if you haven't heard Benny, he's from our old character creation episode where we sat down and actually went through character creation and made our own little show mascot.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've had a few people do like fan art and some things, and
I know he
it's super
showed up
sweet.
in a couple games.
Hell yeah! Feel free to use Benny and any of the lore we have built, and if you want to check on your own lore, feel free to share with us in the Discord.
Hell yeah.
Small side note on the Nosferatu attachment to mortals: mortals who are ghouled by the Nosferatu will pick up a portion of their curse as well. Have fun flavoring that however you want.
Yeah.
I believe the longer they're ghouled, the worse it gets.
You can run it that way if you want.
And like the longer that they've been ghouled, the less likely it is to go away if they become unghouled.
Yeah.
Which makes Nosferatu Revenant family potentially terrifying.
Yeah.
They just look like Nosferatu.
Or, they look like the family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
If you want to get real wild, Very Hills Have Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Just, oh no. Just one family that perpetually has Uncanny Valley.
I like it.
Oh, God. Just like, something's wrong. I don't know why, and it's upsetting.
Oh, I was watching Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
They could be like the McPoyles.
Oh, God.
The McPoyles are definitely Nosferatu ghouls.
No. I mean, yes, but no.
They don't.
Sorry.
No, they don't really need to eat. They just like milk.
I hadn't thought about them in so long.
Me neither.
That makes Guillermo del Toro a Nosferatu ghoul.
Really?
Yeah, he plays the grandfather of the McPoyle family.
Oh, my
Oh,
God, he
I didn't know
does.
that.
I forgot. Oh, my God. And not Totoro-san. Speaking of fucked up body things, so Nosferatu body dysmorphia manifests like in social interactions with the clan in a couple of different ways. Some Nosferatu will go out of their way to make themselves worse out of spite. So they're like, you think I'm fucked up now? I'm going to sleep in filthy dirt water and pigsties and do makeup and extra things to accentuate how fucked up I am. And that's one way of handling it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Nosferatu that will make a point of covering themselves. So it's very Phantom of the Opera, masks, big hoodies. Hoodies is a big thing.
Yeah, say the Nosferatu definitely had a lock on the emo kid with a hoodie
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. Hoodie and the hair that dangles in front of your face.
Yeah. Well, it's also a good nondescript cover. So if you're like wanting to walk around a city, if you just have like jeans and a hoodie and the hood's up, like no one's gonna pay attention to you.
Right.
So the Bruja have leather jackets, the Nosferatu have hoodies.
It's cute.
It's great. Some Nosferatu will dress as they did in their life or try to keep up as much as they can on current fashions to like desperately cling onto some sense of normalcy. They're just like, look, I've always wore Converse. I'm just going to keep wearing Converse.
You have that Nosferatu who's like paying like $6,000 for the newest pair of Nikes, like special edition, whatnot, and he has to like take them off before he gets back to the Warrens because they're gonna get all nasty.
He's gonna scuff up his Jordans.
Yeah.
No.
Like when he's out walking the city, he has those like, I don't know if you guys have seen them. They have these things that are like almost like clear tape that you put on the bottom of shoes, sneakers. You cut them to fit so that you can walk around town and like the bottom of your sneaker doesn't get dirty.
Oh yeah, I've seen the little surgical booties sometimes.
Yeah.
Or if you've ever had like plumbers or people into your house, sometimes they'll put those on when they come in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. If you want to have a Fastinisha Nosferatu that's very oh god, what's her name from The Incredibles with the bob haircut?
Oh, I don't remember her name.
I don't remember.
Edna Mode.
Yes.
Yeah, very Edna Mode Nosferatu, that's also super valid. It is also not uncommon for the Nosferatu to project their body issues upon the quote-unquote beautiful people. And this is a part of the reason why there's such a tension between the Nosferatu and the Toreador. Because the Toreador are just like, well, we're all hot. We're all doing hot girl shit. And we also make things that are beautiful, and we care about art and beauty, and da-da-da-da. And there's Nosferatu who are like, God fucking damn it, God.
I hate them all.
I hate them all. What if they just... No. So this will lead to oftentimes in business dealings with the Nosferatu and the Toreador, where the Nosferatu will do upcharging. They'll skim things off the top. They'll sell knockoffs. They'll hardball Toreador. They'll do public humiliations. Basically, if they can get away with making a Toreador knight just that much harder, they're gonna do it. So there's the extreme version of this, though, that's a little... in our modern times, a little uncomfy, so handle this at your table if you want to, how you want, where there have been cases of certain Nosferatu just kind of snapping and losing it, and they'll take their frustrations about their physical appearance out on people in mass, often at, like, art galleries, pageants, and other kind of events where people are, you know, enjoying themselves, having a good time, like music festivals, that kind of shit, where they're just, like, mass shooter, like, incel bullshit. Or they're just like, I'm pissed. I'm going to go to this art showing and rip everyone in two and then nail them to the wall. Look, you're art now. And I'm just like, ooh, buddy, you can't just be...
Yeah, go to a beauty pageant and just start throwing acid in everybody's face.
Yeah. And it's just like, I know, think life is hard for you, and that really sucks, and I'm sorry, but you also can't just be, like, attacking people like that.
Yeah.
Just like, they're all sluts, and I'm like, that's incel talk. No.
You gotta stop, pal.
No. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no, I was stretching. But yeah, Nosferatu are definitely the incel clan, unfortunately.
Dude, they can be.
They're not always, but if you were to give one of the clans that label, I feel like.
Yeah, where it's like you're forced to be inside. It's a lot of... They're forced to be undesirable, and then therefore you can explore the themes of, like, what that means in maintaining your own community and how that interacts with other communities. So if that's the theme you're interested in discussing in your story, great way to go with it. If that's something that makes you a little squicky as a storyteller or a player, you don't have to, but it's very blatant in the text, and you might want to have a session 0 discussion about those kinds of things.
Yeah, that might be one of those where if someone really is not into exploring that, you might want to look into another clan. Or go with the alt clan bane.
Yeah.
I know we'll talk about that more in the second.
Oh, yeah. There's several ways of handling it, and I'm not here to govern how people handle things at their table, but, you know, just like, there's potential for bleed issues and stuff with that kind of theming, so handle it how you want.
Yeah, they're very explicit. I feel like some of the other clans, it's easy to sidebar some of their, like, gross as in gross for people playing the game. Grossness is a little easier to put aside. Like, we talked in the Malkavian episode, they're the other really squicky clan, and I think you can go, like, they're not crazy, they're sages, and, like, you can kind of push that aside, and, like, but Nosferatu, I feel like it's kind of hard to get away from that. They're all ugly, undesirable monsters because they are all mutated and supernaturally repulsive.
Yeah, I think that can also just be augmented slightly by how everybody else in the society deals with them, because you could write a city where people care more about, like, yeah, your face is fucked up, but, like, you're really good at computing and that's what people respect you for. Or, you know, you're like having a city set up where people look beyond your physicality, because, you know, vampires are like, look, I live forever and I'm stuck in this stupid fucking body, even if it's hot, and I need people to judge me for other things that I do.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And I think even if you did that and kept, like, the normal people from being like, bah. And I mean, I think one of the main themes of the game is what separates vampires from humanity. That's why there's a whole tracker.
Yeah.
For
sure.
So I think having, even if you still want to have the humans be, like, supernaturally repulsed and the vampires, like, kind of chill about it.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Or you can even kind of maybe have it slightly go the other way, because people in our age group and younger tend to be a lot more accepting about people that have disabilities or different body shapes and, like, body positivity movements. So younger people might be more chill
Whereas,
with
like,
Nosferatu, where older people are more wrapped up into the whole your physical appearance dictates your morality.
Like specifically like real old vampires. So like hundreds of years old, and they're like, it should be illegal for you to be in public.
Oh yeah, like harkening back to ugly laws, where it's like, well, if you were a good person, God wouldn't have fucked up your face. And it's just like, oh God, that's a terrible thing to say and think.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, just like, hey, Kotaru, we have found the BBEG now. It's that guy. What if we set his house on fire? Jerry, we have a job for you.
Already on it, walking out the door with a lit Molotov.
It's like, I can't believe he said that.
I'm a little glad that Hunchback wasn't voted for. We did a bonus poll for our patrons what our bonus episode would be about, and Nosferatu beat Phantom of the Opera and Hunchback, which I think are like the three big stories that really
tie into this really
clan.
well. Yeah.
And I feel like we would have had to gotten a lot into that if we did Hunchback. So thank you for saving me from that, having to do that, the more depressing research.
Hunchback would have been more of a discussion about how society tells histories about itself through architecture.
There's a little bit of that.
That's literally why Victor Hugo wrote the novel. But
well, I also had planned on talking about some of the like the Hammer version. And some of the, which are more about like how people are viewed in society based on how they look. And,
I'm trying to not get my glass to clank on the mic.
But we're not doing that episode because you didn't vote for it. So
yeah. You can vote for it later.
Maybe if
we let you. If you're good enough. I don't know. Go steal the prince's pocket watch.
Yes.
So, who gets embraced into Clan Nosferatu? Those who fall through the cracks of society, often the houseless, the mentally ill, addicts, loners, outcasts, weirdos, the damaged, and the less dead. So, sex workers, marginalized communities, that kind of thing. That tends to be a big chunk of the clan. So, a big chunk of the reason that this is the choice for within the clan is being a Nosferatu is hard. It's the hard knock life for them. So they tend to think, if you have had a hard life in your mortal life, you are mentally and emotionally prepared to deal with this in unlife.
Almost similar to the La Sombra, but to different ends, where the La Sombra is like, we only want the toughest, and so we only embrace the toughest, and you still might not be tough enough. Whereas the Nosferatu is like, you can handle it. You're stuck now.
Yeah, it's like, well, look, life's been shit, but we have a whole support network and like really comfy couches.
And
you get superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you just want to set that guy on fire? I mean, we're afraid of fires. I don't know why I keep talking about arson. But
Jerry's like, I got over that years ago.
Did you, Jerry?
Holding a flame at like arm's length.
Just holding a burnt the candle as far away as he can.
Yeah. I feel like he's a burn and run. He's not a burn and watch the flame.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, he's a burn and run.
No, he's for reading the mischief afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah. The other group of people that tend to get embraced into the Nosferatu are the beautiful. Those who have highly socially acceptable physical characteristics. The elites, those who need to be knocked down a peg. These Nosferatu within the clan are often referred to as Cleopatras. So...
Nosferatu abducts the ghoul, the longtime ghoul of a Toreador that the Toreador was grooming to embrace.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
And embraces them.
Yes.
And then just gives them back.
Yes. Rude. Super rude. Yeah. So just, just somebody that's just being a fucking asshole. Just like, you know what? You'll be really funny. You would be super funny. What if he lived in a sewer for the rest of forever? I love this for him. Grab. Or just, like, oh, you think your life's hard now? Oh, you think it's tough now? Okay.
Here we go.
Into the hole you go.
and it's not just the Nosferatu who are cruel about it either. Some cruel princes will use the embrace into Nosferatu as a punishment for ghouls or mortal enemies.
Yeah, which is super fucked up. Thankfully, that's not a thing that younger princes tend to do. This is definitely like a boomer prince that's like, well, back in my day, if you fucked around too much, we put you in the Nosferatu hole.
That it was probably like a written law in some cities in like Dark Ages times, and some of those guys just kept that around, and the rules have just slowly fallen off. But you might still get an occasional just really vengeful prince who's just like, you know what, fuck that guy in particular. Hey, Nosferatu, you've been asking for to sire someone, right? You can have him. You've been wanting someone. Take him.
Here's one.
Are you going to refuse my gift?
Yeah. Oof.
God! I hate role-playing terrible people, but I'm good at it.
Yep.
I hate it. So, why is this in particular cruel outside of you end up with a fucked up face? It's the process of ending up with the fucked up face. The process of embrace with the Nosferatu is, I would say, probably the most intense out of all the clans. It's particularly painful and dangerous. Not only does this person enter a semi-death state, as one does when they are going through the embrace, their body will twist in various grotesque ways. It is not uncommon for this to just straight up kill the potential fledgling during the process, which that's a oof to begin with.
Like their skull just thickens and thickens and thickens inward till it just squishes their brain out their nose.
Yeah, or like your rib cage will twist in a way where you just like puncture your own heart and you're just dead.
Yeah.
Or, it just kills you.
Right.
It just
You just
kills
get
you.
liquid. You just get gooed.
Yeah,
Turn into goop.
your body just implodes.
Oof.
Just
I think they're the only embrace that like can literally just kill.
Yep. It'll just fucking kill you. It's awful. This process can take several hours to several nights. Most accounts say it takes about a week.
Fucking wild.
So yeah, you got to keep your fledgling somewhere in the dark so they can kind of transformers themselves into whatever they're gonna be.
You might be able to help them with like blood packs during this time period. I'm not sure. That might be something to find out in your game.
Yeah.
At what point do they start needing to drink blood? Is it the second it's done? Can they live without sustenance doing this? Do you have to feed and water
Feed and water your Nosferatu
God.
and
sproutling.
treat them like a gerbil for
Like
like
a
a
fucking
week?
like a fucking chia pet.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah. So those who survive sometimes will come out so twisted that they're unable to help themselves, or they basically come out lobotomized. These ones are often either treated as like brutes or it's difficult. Yeah. So some Nosferatu, when they come out, their bodies are so misshapen they just like can't walk around. They can't like feed for themselves or fend for themselves, and some are just nothing going on upstairs.
And not in, I would say, and in the text it seems more like this person was not mentally handicapped by the transition. It's more like their brain literally just kind of disconnected from the rest of their body, but because they're a supernatural creature, they're still technically...
It's left open to a bit of interpretation, so it could just be they have the brain scramblies, and they just, like, don't communicate well anymore, or they're detached from their own senses, or they're just permanently dissociating. And sometimes it's like literally like a lobotomy where it's just like that part of their brain just doesn't exist anymore, so they can't.
Yeah.
And it's just very oof. There have been several accounts of sires that will either mercy kill these childer, or they're forced to put them down because the Kimmerer is just like we can't, like this guy can't take care of himself. And he has superpowers.
Yeah,
And he has superpowers.
there may be some Camarilla cities that literally have rules for the Nosferatu about this, where they're like, we know what happens, don't let it happen.
And if it does, take care of the problem.
Yeah.
So that's kind of though there are some sires that will hide away these particular childer within the warrens as a like, but it's my childer, I need to take care of them. What do I do? We're just going to hide them and just not tell people upstairs. So, yeah, there will probably be portions of the warrens that are just housing for Nosferatu whose transformations didn't go well.
And that could be temporary. That could be something that they could adapt to or not. That, that's kind of at table and story discretion.
You look horrified.
If you wanted to add an even more terrifying thing into the labyrinth, you could just be like, yeah, there's a couple, clan warrens that just take their brutes down to the labyrinth and leave them down there.
Oh,
And
like
sometimes-
minotaurs?
Yeah, like
Oh,
minotaurs
no.
almost.
And they sometimes, they'll just lead people down there for them to feed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, that's just how we do it.
So every once in a while, you'll come by. Maybe they form little packs because in their nature as Nosferatu, they want to have a family.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have little packs of brutes just like gorilla-ing around.
existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was scary in Texas. Wait
Right.
until we put it underground. It's just like, fuck, no. So if you want to have extra fun with your character design within the Nosferatu, in previous editions, certain portions of the Nosferatu would have their physical form morph in accordance to their location. So examples of this would be the Parisi in France would have like translucent skin, kind of like a glass frog.
That's so cool.
Yeah, kind of like late 90s technology.
Yeah.
Where you can see the bits working inside.
I love that.
It's an
my,
iMac.
It's my purple translucent Game Boy
Hell
Advance.
yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to make an iMac Nosferatu.
Do it. The files are in the computer. There's the Volsi in Germany, which were bog-dwelling giants, and they were often cannibals.
What do they mean by giants? Like 20 feet tall?
Large. Well, maybe not 20 feet, but it'd be
Eight?
like 7 to 9 feet, just large.
Yeah.
Yoked as fuck.
Cool.
There's Lazarines in Turkey that had disfigurements akin to the symptoms of leprosy.
So they just have bits fall off?
Yeah, bits falling off, no nose, stumps, that kind of thing.
That's a very common Nosferatu thing I see, though. It's just the no nose.
Just no nose.
Even
Yeah.
if it's not one of them, they tend to end up with no nose. I think it's a cool look.
It's kind of a vibe. It's a serve.
Oh, the
Ooh.
storm is back.
The storm is, we can hear it above ground, the storm and the water that's now going to be rushing. We got to move.
Yeah, let's keep
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And so the last ones were...
Where the fuck was that, like, dirt tunnel we found last...
We'll figure it out. But there's the larvae in Greece where they burrow through the stone in the region with their teeth and they feed through proboscises like a mosquito.
That's dope.
Right?
I like the idea that they look kind of like, again, naked mole rats with their teeth just, like, jutting out the front of their face all the time.
And just...
Yeah.
That one X-Files episode of the thing that's living in, like, the sewage system is attacking people through toilets.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's all goopy? He, like, stretchy boy?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the proboscis tongue and stuff.
Be spoopy. So, bloodlines and subcultures within the Nosferatu of note. The Nosferatu anti-tribu, so those who are aligned with the Sabbat, tend to be the more chill of the Sabbat. They prefer to be more precise with their actions and really only behave truly monstrous when it's needed or advantageous. So these will often be like the organizey, kind of just like, what if we take this pack and move them here? That kind of thing.
Or they're like man, we really need to make a point with this Cam City. All right, we'll just demolish this building, whose the prince is like, where he keeps all of his favorite art pieces from the sewers, and then we'll just leave.
Yeah, so he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are also the Nosferatu that are most often to flip sect loyalties due to the clan's never-ending fear of their antediluvian.
We'll get into them next episode, but it is terrifying.
It's spoopy as fuck.
Yeah.
One of my favorite antediluvians, I think.
Oh, he's super fun. He's a bastard man from Bastard Island, but he's fun.
I think he built Bastard Island.
I think he founded Bastard Island and then put it underground. Small note, and I love this little side note story. The Sabbat Nosferatu in New York City have been reported within the canon of Vampire the Masquerade to lure mortals to their underground lair to force feed them lethal doses of hallucinogenic mushrooms that they grow down there.
What?
And while these people are tripping to death, they will offer these mortals up to their pack mates and other Sabbat family members to get them all jacked up to go cause havoc.
Wild.
The Ashira Nosferatu, we have the Boyat Musadrid. These are the Nosferatu that refuse to convert to Islam, and they remain as like hunters and spies throughout the various regions, particularly in North Africa, and apparently they don't exist at all in the Arabian Peninsula. So that's one side of it. And then there's a group of the Nosferatu called the Hajj, and this is a brood that specifically guards Mecca and Medina.
Oh.
And they are among some of the only kindred that are able to enter these holy sites, and they also have access to blood sorcery.
Yeah, they're fucking cool.
It's fucking
that is
wild.
dope.
Yeah, I went down a giant rabbit hole of reading about Mecca and Medina as like setting locations within World of Dark. It's fucking wild, and that had to be its own episode, guys. I am so sorry.
I think doing a series or at least a single Ashira episode is at the top of my list of like lore stuff I'd like for us to cover, because every time we hint at it, I'm like, that's so fucking
It's so fucking cool. Yeah. Speaking of things that are fucking cool, there's the Dulia Mansa, or the Hidden Kings living in sub-Saharan Africa. These Nosferatu are tied in with the Guruhi of the Liban, which is the African vampires.
Oh, okay. That also probably its own episode.
It's its own, and it would have to be multiple episodes because I hate that a whole fucking continent just gets one fucking book. It's stupid. Ugh, sorry. It's just, I'm like, ugh, like Paris and London and Munich and all these cities in Europe get their own individual books. All of Africa, one book. Fucking stupid. Anyways, these kindred believe themselves to be the rightful rulers of Africa and often embrace from royal lineages or powerful leaders. These Nosferatu will travel and protect the trade networks that cross Africa, like the full fucking continent of Africa. And they've worked with empires like the Kanem Bornu, the Mali, the Songhai, Mogadishu, Ghana, Wantampata, and the Tenshara Taif of the Swahili. So these are massive African empires that in their heydays basically outcompeted like European countries. And it's like fucking bananas. It's really cool history stuff to look into. This literally has to be its own fucking episode, guys.
Yeah, if you're looking for like Nosferatu royalty, this would be the place to look.
Yeah, these are Nosferatu that, due to social stigmas, they don't feel the need to hide themselves because there's a lot more open acceptance of them looking fucked up in that part of the world as opposed to Europe, where we're just like, oh, you look fucked up. Clearly, you're a sinner and you have to go down underground. You're bad. Africa didn't do that as much. And the Bane manifests weirdly for them. So there's two aspects for vampires in Africa. So there's the Odrun, which is tied into spirituality, and the Ai that translates into their humanity. And depending on how those two aspects balance for an African vampire is going to affect how beautiful or monstrous they look. But because this clan is always stuck looking kind of messed up, you can't really get a read on those aspects of them. But there are Nosferatu of this lineage that if they have a balance in a certain way can actually just look normal, but they have to be like super good. So it's like one of the few Nosferatu where it's like, if you want to have a normal face, if you're a good noodle, you can do it. Which I'm just like, that's bananas and I love it. Mm-hmm. Moving on. There's Leatherfaces. These are Nosferatu that become so bitter with their lot in life, they react with violence and rain terror upon others. So these are your slasher Nosferatu that get super into just like, what if I purposely make myself look fucked up and then I take it out on everybody by creating elaborate traps or being a very detailed and intricate serial murderer? Like they'll put the effort that a toreador would into a work of art into just causing chaos and havoc and destruction and death and mayhem.
Scary.
Yeah, it's very if you want to play that, cool, I guess, but I feel like this is a good antagonist character trope to handle.
Or uneasy ally.
Yeah. Where you're just like, okay, I don't like that you're doing all these murders, but like, why?
I feel like that's an interesting thing to deal with in any vampire and any clan, though, because I think sometimes it's easy to forget all the other vampires. Mm-hmm. A large percent of them are probably murderers and bastards. Yeah, so now and again, if you just stick one in who's like, yeah, but I like it. I'm on a mission from God to do this. And you're just like, buddy, time out, hold on. I know that's what I really liked about the one character I played in our Chicago game, but we definitely couldn't do that all the time. Was because they did it like the same way, like it was like a fox hunt for him, basically, but with people.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of set up the same thing with Nosferatu, where they just have their labyrinth things where they're like, yeah, no, we just catch people and put them down here for fun. And you're just like, what the
brutal.
Rough. Another branch of the Nosferatu are known as the Solitaires, and these are Nosferatu that either prefer to live on their own because they're so misanthropic, or they've been booted from the Warrens and they're just ostracized. So, yeah, that's part of it.
They got caught lying to family too much, or stealing from the family, or just being an all-out bastard. Yeah, just like he is too fucked up, and it's not his face; it's just him as a person. That could also be like a fun story hook if one of your players or one of their contacts gets framed for doing a bunch of fucked up shit in the Warrens. And now you've got to deal with someone who's literally not allowed around their own kind anymore.
Super sad. Then we have the unfortunate boogeymen. These are Nosferatu that prefer to feed on children, whether out of cowardice, ease, or preference. These kindred are particularly reviled within the clan. And the revised book that talks about these guys in particular describes them feeding in a predator type like the Sandman, which is a predator type in V5. So there was nuggets of it in the older system. So I thought that was neat as a lore note, but also these guys, I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that you're very likely to have people at the table be like, can we just not do that one?
Can we just not? Can we fade to black on this one? Or like, we can stake this guy, right? Like that's,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a uncomf, but you know, I appreciate that there's some lines within the community. And then we have the big group, the Niktuku.
Uh-oh.
These are often described as and written about as a bloodline of the Nosferatu, though many believe in the wider vampire community that they are purely myth. Currently within the V5 canon, it is considered common knowledge that the Niktuku don't really exist, and there's currently no alive kindred who can attest to witnessing one. That is the mainstream understanding of Niktuku in V5. If you want to run with this with a different plot at your table, please go for it.
Yeah.
And even if the Nosferatu in your city might be like, no, I think they're still around. Most of the cities will not take them seriously if they mention it, and they're like, no, something's eating us down there. And they're like, you and your superstitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Niktuku are vampires that desire to consume other vampires. Human blood will barely satiate them, and these are considered like predators of predators. These are like the sharks of vampires. Very intense, very spoopy. It is rumored that the Niktuku are directly loyal to their antediluvian, serving his desire to eradicate the rest of the clan through diablerie.
So while they will like go after any vampires, they're specifically hungry for their own clan. Like they specifically want Nosferatu, but if they see a Toreador in a tunnel,
like I could go for a chicken sandwich.
I feel uncomfortable down here now.
Yeah.
More uncomfortable.
Is there something you need to tell the class?
I don't want to get eaten.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It is, there's a few different interpretations of this within the lore. So there is that where it's like, oh yeah, no, they're working for Big Daddy Papa Nosferatu to do the big sip. There are other vampires that believe that the Nosferatu that are Niktuku are the ones who have fallen to their beast, but they're not fully a white. They've like maintained enough of their mental facilities to be like cunning and planning and set traps and all of that, but they've basically lost all of their humanity outside of that, which that's terrifying.
I also like it as this would be something you'd have to non-canon do in your game, but the idea that they're kind of like the Nosferatu when they do become a white a little differently.
Yeah.
Like the others just become like literally feral beasts, whereas like they're so used to being sneaky and cold and calculating anyway that even when they do like quote unquote lose control, it's like, all right, I'm more like a trapdoor spider than a feral wolf. They're like, okay, I will eat other vampires. I will go absolutely fucking nuts in my own calm and quiet way.
Mm-hmm. There's a third option, which I consider to be the spookiest. This is a me, Sarah one, this is not my pet theory. This is just the in-canon theory that I find the most spooky, which is the Niktuku are a cover story for the Nosferatu elders for hiding within their own warrens and like plucking their own to feed from. And they're just like, yeah, the Niktuku did it.
But they're really just doing it to avoid like the beckoning.
Or whatever plot device, but yeah.
Or gain more power.
Yeah. Or they're just so old and powerful that, like, mortal blood's not cutting it anymore. And they're like, well, I could hunt outside of my clan, but people get upset. You're
extra.
And I'm just like, being in a network of people that are just like, yeah, we love and, like, well, maybe not love, but we definitely, like, support each other, and we're big into community and family, and they have that just, like, turned on you because some spooky, scary thing in the dark just decided, well, it's your turn.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, spooky. It's spooky. So we're at the point now. Clan disciplines for Nosferatu. We have animalism for creepy crawly friends. So if you want to have rats, pigeons, seagulls, cockroaches, bees, animal stuff, it's fun.
Yeah, talk to your ST about putting a spawning pool in your haven.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
And then they have obfuscate, which is lets them not to be seen. Note, obfuscate does not make you invisible. It just fucks with other people's perceptions so they either cannot see you or they perceive you as a different person.
Kind of like that scene in Dracula where he's the werewolf gross guy and he looks over at me and says, "Don't see me."
Kinda.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool science stuff about like perception and how your brain interprets the sensory you're getting in, but that's a whole other rant.
Technically, everything we're looking at is upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
The world is weird. Speaking of weird, the Nosferatu also get potence, so they're strong as fuck, so they can yeet.
Nice.
Yeah, so they are
Themselves and other things.
Mm-hmm.
they're Yoters. Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that they are one of the strong clans because they're usually so frail and stealthy and like conniving, and then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, by the way, I pick up a car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, if you want to stack your Nosferatu to just be yoked as fuck and just full himbo, do it.
That's how you make one of those German bog dwellers or whatever they were.
Right? I was just like, oh, that's horrifying. So, this is our first episode where we are discussing the 2 clan banes, because now we have options.
Yeah.
Boy. The first clan bane and the original one is one ugly MFer.
Is that the official?
No,
canon
I
name?
just called it that.
Okay.
One ugly
AKA,
motherfucker.
bitch, you ugly. Hideous and vile, all Nosferatu count as having the repulsive flaw, -2, and can never increase their rating in the looks merit. In addition, any attempt to disguise themselves as human incur a penalty to your dice pool equal to the character's bane severity. This includes the obfuscate power, Mask of 1,000 Faces, and Imposter's Guise, which is wild. Because that's their whole thing, is like, well, I guess I can try to blend in, but I'm just like the ugliest construction worker on this site that anyone has ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they're one of the only clans that gives them a minus to their own disciplines just by existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah, it's wild. You can't even change them being ugly with vicissitude.
Yeah, no.
They just become a different kind of ugly.
Yeah, or it just morphs back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also why I really like the new alt clan bane that they've introduced. I think this is really good if you don't want to get into the politics of beauty in your game, because the alternate bane is infestation, so they are not ugly. They could be normal, not pretty looking, but they are not like supernaturally bizarre. The alt bane is, no matter where they go or try to hide, swarms of vermin follow the Nosferatu. Some are plagued by swarms of rats. Others act as beacons of roaches, while others cannot get rid of the damn pigeons or their leavings. In many cases, all of the above and more. No matter where they make their haven, they soon drive out all other inhabitants. Even in a quick stop can provide unwelcome guests that stay long after the sewer rat leaves. A Nosferatu haven is always infested with vermin, causing a penalty equal to 2 plus bane severity to any attempt at an activity by anyone that requires concentration, as well as social tests at ST discretion. In addition, anytime a Nosferatu vampire spends a scene at an enclosed location, the vermin infestation yields a similar effect, though the penalty is equal only to bane severity. Any attempt to temporarily control the vermin with animalism is done at a penalty equal to bane severity. Note that with this bane, Nosferatu are not necessarily deformed, though they can still be weird looking if desired.
Yeah. You just want to have friends forever.
Yeah, that was a mouthful. But yeah, basically anywhere they go is quickly filled up with gross ass critters.
Could be bedbugs. Could be mockingbirds.
Could be
Mockingjays. Magpies. Fucking just owls.
I can make Willard.
You could. You literally. This
could
is the
make
clan.
Willard.
This is the clan for Willard.
I could make Willard.
I made Willard as a Malkavian once, but
Yeah.
the infestation one really leans into that.
Yeah, I like that.
It's super fun. And then we have their clan compulsion. Do either of you want to read it, or would you like me to?
Get it. We read too.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. Hell yeah. Clan compulsion for Nosferatu is cryptophilia.
They don't like to fuck dead people. That's necro.
That is necrophilia. Cryptophilia is the need to know permeates the vampire. They become consumed with a hunger for secrets, to know that which few or no one knows, almost as strong as their need for blood. They also refuse to share secrets with others, except in strict trade for greater ones. All actions not spent working towards learning a secret, no matter how big or small, receive a 2 dice penalty. The compulsion ends when the vampire learns a secret big enough to be considered useful, or the scene ends. Sharing the secret is optional.
I love it.
I just love the cattiness of, girl, I got my bag, fuck you.
Yeah.
I just love sassy Nosferatu. They're just like, you think I'm doing what? No. I said good day.
They figure out the prince's feeding type. His preferred, his preferred feeding stuff.
Oh.
It's just like, whew, that got me feeling better.
I'm feeling jazzed.
I'm not telling anybody this shit, though.
Yeah, just like,
mine.
I think if people knew that I knew, I would be in trouble. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I'm so glad I got this info. Wait. Shit, I have this info.
The double-edged sword
Damn
of
it.
having secrets is
Yeah.
you also have the secret. You're just like,
Right.
if they know that I know, do they know that I know? What if they know that I know that I know?
Oh, no.
Shit. I don't want to get in trouble.
But is a secret?
Is it safe?
Is it safe?
Probably not
Is
if
it
it's the
safe?
prince's feeding type.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So, we have survived our rendition of the clan vibes for the Nosferatu. So how are we feeling?
I'm fucking glad that we're finally on some, flat, kind of mostly flat, stonework here instead of the sewer.
Yeah.
It's gone from sewer to more medieval steam tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is mildly concerning. But
Yeah.
I prefer that than, the poop water.
It's drier.
Yeah.
We're out of the storm drain
That's
portion,
nice.
so that was good.
Yep.
As far as the clan, though, I'm really enjoying this. I don't oft get to play them, but I always feel like the Nosferatu is a really fun clan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're one of the most iconic clans of the game. I think they stand out and are very, very unique.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've played a Nosferatu. I played a Niktuku, so that I don't know how much that counts. But yeah, usually Nosferatu gets snapped up really quick in games. So I rarely get to play them. If I do, it's usually as a storyteller, and it's fun. It's super fun. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I just put on a little shenanigan suit and just cause chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Good times.
it's a good time. I enjoy it. I'm not constrained by the need to be hot. Because I'm never going to be, so I can just do whatever I want. It's amazing.
Aha!
Aha!
It's pretty dope. I love the family aspect of Nosferatu. It's very nice.
Hell yeah.
Until it's turned against you, and
Yeah, but before then, little tribe of misfits,
great.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
which is what all of us are.
Yeah, I've only actually gotten to play a Nosferatu once as well, but it was in a Chronicles game, and so I played a Samidi when the Samidi were a bloodline of the Nosferatu and not their own
Thing, yeah.
kind of standalone thing, which I think kind of makes sense because they're less ugly and more compelled to be kind of filthy and crazy and scary. But
Yeah.
they're fun, but they're very different. I think eventually, once we finish those, I think going into some of the Chronicles bloodlines would be fun, just because there's so many, they're so varied.
Yeah, just being like, if you want to take these aspects and chuck them into the newer system, why not?
Also a good way to just get character ideas.
Oh yeah.
Even
Hell
if you still
yeah.
call him a regular Nosferatu or whatever, it's still a good vibe.
Yeah, he's just a Nosferatu in a top hat.
Instead of a bowler cap.
Yes. I mean, what?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. A Nosferatu that shows up to an event that he's hosting in the Warrens, and he is wearing Hardstat's hat.
Oh, how did he get it?
Right?
Oh, he won the scavenger hunt.
That makes him Hardstadt.
Yeah,
which changes his
He's
clan.
Hardstadt. It changes
He
his
becomes
clan.
a Ventru.
Is that how?
Hardstat's hat's actually a magical item. There's mages looking for it currently.
It's like the worst version of Frosty the Snowman. You put
Yes.
the Hardstat's hat on and you just become a Ventru, which is awful. I wouldn't put that on anyone.
I'm sure a lot of people would be after that, as it's the only known way to make someone temporarily a vampire is by wearing the hat.
You take it off, you go back to normal.
Whatever normal is for you.
Amazing.
Oh no, does that mean the Nosferatu has to go through the transformation again?
Oh.
Ooh.
Or do they stay ugly? Or do they look kind of as close to Hardstadt as they can without being exact?
They look like Kirkland's best Hardstadt.
Oh no.
Okay, we gotta get out of sewer. So thank you, Paralyze, for the music.
Yeah. Thanks, Paralyze. Go check out their new band, World I Hate.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're completely sold out of vinyl now. I could be wrong.
Oh, are they? Damn.
But yeah,
Go them.
It's good shit. Go
Hell
check
yeah.
that out. While it's still around, I'm giving it till the end of the year. But as long as Twitter is still around, we're on Twitter at blank_bodies. We're on Instagram and Tumblr at blankbodiespod. We're on the TikTok at blankbodiespodcast.
I'm back to using it actually this time. So
Yeehaw.
hooray! My life is less on fire, so now I can tick them talks.
Yeah, social media world is getting so fucked I've considered buying a burner phone that only has Wi-Fi on it just for social media.
I don't blame you, like, at all.
But if you're enjoying what words we say, talk, how we do, and like to support that happening, we have a Patreon. We have all kinds of tiers, everything from getting special titles in our free-to-join Discord, up to getting into special Patreon-only sections of the Discord, getting to vote in all future polls because Twitter took those away, and now they're Patreon exclusive. We have extra show notes or resources, character sketches, blood, tubs of corn. There's all kinds of stuff.
Corn tub.
I will bathe in the hot waters of corn.
We're gonna need that after these episodes.
I know.
We are. Fucking, also, should
Though
we...
I don't think we should eat the corn that we boil in.
No, we don't eat the bath corn.
The corn's just what gives you a nice scent.
Yes.
True.
Yes. It exfoliates.
Should we mention the Gen Con?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it is time.
We have a live event at Gen Con. We're going to be at Gen Con. I think we're also going to do a lunch meetup on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So, panel is at 10 a.m.
It's in the Westin building. So it looks like it's in the third grand ballroom, I'm guessing. It says Grand 3. So I'm guessing we're in the third ballroom.
Sounds
Hell
right.
yeah.
Sounds like right for a vampire podcast, yeah.
Yeah, they're letting us in the ballroom.
We've got plenty of ballroom.
Hey.
So come hang out.
Come hang out, come see our faces. It's only like $2.
If we don't yap too long, we're gonna have a little bit of Q&A maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a little Q&A, do a little Gen Con exclusive version of the episode.
Yeah, we're going to try and record the episode live. We're still figuring out technology and such. If not, we'll end up re-recording it, but you could be at a live show.
Yeah, come say hi. We'd like to see your faces.
We'll definitely be accepting generic tickets because I know people's schedules get all weird.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely signed up for like 5-hour events that were done in 3.
Yeah, if you party too hard on the Thursday and you want to have a hangover chill time with us on the Friday, we will be there. Also, there might be a Mothman meetup. I don't know. We're still working on it. But yeah, Gen Con, come see our faces. We'd love to see your faces.
And we're definitely having a free meetup for food on Sunday. We'll have more details about that. But, I mean, the food's not free, but it's free to come.
Yeah.
So if you just want to buy Sunday, I figure most people are kind of done with being in the convention space. So we're going to be doing it off grounds at
Somewhere.
at a place to be determined. But
Yeah.
we have a couple of spots in mind. So we're going to talk to people in the Discord. And
Keep your peepers open. Keep your bad ears. Antennaing.
Mm-hmm. Or your sniffer to the ground if you're one of those Nosferatu that has a bat sniffer.
Yeah.
ooh,
Ooh, got them schnozzes.
one of them.
I'm trying to not sniff while we're here
That's fair.
in this
Good move.
drain
Yeah,
tunnel
I
steam
regret
thing.
it.
Yeah.
That's why I keep those mentholatum sticks on me. Also
Nice.
because I'm mucusy.
You're also a phlegmy boy.
Well, should we go through this door and see what happens?
Sure. You know what? What's the worst that could happen?
We could end up in
More poo water.
more poo water.
That's not that bad.
Or France.
Oh, God.
That's pretty much just more poo water. Off we go. Bye, everybody. We love you. Mwah.